Hey, good morning, garage fans. Would you look at that? It's a gas tank, right where gas tanks are supposed to be. All my wires and vents are coming down right here. Ventilation tube fits there, vent tube fits there. This one will go back to the fuel filter. Everything's happy, new wires here. Yes, so this big old spool will have to get run up to the front and secured along the subframe, which we'll get to. But yeah, Jenny helped me get that back up there. It's sitting pretty. I just got to bolt the little securing arm down on the filler neck, and then I can get this bad boy back on, and it'll be just like brand new. I'll clean that up in the sink a little bit. But yeah, that's the filler cap. And then I got this little guard. Oop, nope, that's not it. Got this guard right here, and that goes up under there. So we'll get those back on, and we'll be one step closer to a brand new car. Those are gonna get washed. So yeah, got my Bilsteins unpacked. Sweet. Tabs on there for the new shock absorbers, which are in that box still. I think I'm going to try to get these assembled later. These are the rears, and those are going to go up and in here, because then I can put my little foam guard pieces back over the top and bolt those in, and they will be ready to go. So that'll be awesome. Man, look at these. They're so pretty. I am excited. These are going to ride so nice. So yeah, right now, I'm warming up the Grand Prix because we are about to make a run to the... Look at that, it's even sunny out! And it's 30 degrees today. It warmed up about, I don't know, 35 degrees since my last few videos. It is positive temps, it is great. But we are making a run to the Harbor Freight store to pick up a dial indicator and a 17 mil hex key tool, and maybe a bore gauge as well. So we'll see what's what. Then I can measure the backlash on my diff, slap that back together, and start getting this car back closer to the ground. So we'll head back in here for a sec. And yeah, good things happening. So the plan is to get the rear end prepped for this to go back in. So all this will get buttoned up, the wiring will get tucked and plugged, and then I'll reattach the suspension arms and get everything sitting nice, and then we can wheel this back under there with this on the table here and bump it up with the jack or lower the car down. I haven't decided yet how we're gonna do that, but we'll make it work. Not too nervous. All we have to do is get it in range of the suspension arms, and then those will bolt in, and then we can just lift the car back off and then bolt on the panhard bar and the rear stabilizer bar and the sway bar. So yeah, good stuff. I'm gonna hit the road, and we'll be back with some tools to keep working. Freed up some bench space, so yeah, had to bust out some new stuff. These Bilsteins, man, I'm excited. Sweet. Hey, garage people. Good afternoon. I'm coming at you live, well, sorta, from inside my Grand Prix with a little haul that I got. Check this out. Got some new tools. Mount stand for a dial indicator so I can check my backlash, which will be awesome. And then I found these as well. I didn't know Pittsburgh made these. They were like 10 bucks, I think. It's basically a dial bore gauge on the poor man's version. They spring load and they pop out to whatever size your internal measurement is, and then you pull them out and measure it with a caliper. And then you can get the exact measurement, like for I can measure my main bearings, in new main bearings in the caps, and then compare those to the reading on the crankshaft or the inside of the main bearings or the rod bearings, and then measure the the rod journals on the crank. And then in addition, I'll test it with plasti gauge as well. So got that, and then I got this nice little metric hex setup with the 17 millimeter big boy on the end there, so I can pop that freeze plug or that coolant drain plug out, so my block will be fully ready to go. And then I can go ahead and when I get that clean, I'll take some measurements of the IDs for the rod journals and the main journals, and then I will measure my crankshaft after I get it all polished up and compare the numbers to see what I get for clearance. And then obviously I got my plasti gauge that I'll confirm with as well, but it allow me to kind of double check things and just give myself that little bit of insurance that the numbers do work out for the engine. So was pretty sweet to get all that stuff. Shout out to Harbor Freight. This stuff all has lifetime warranty. It is made in China. It's a Pittsburgh brand, but what are you gonna do? It seems to be pretty good stuff. Also, on the way down here, so I got my tools here. Check this out. Woo-woo, look at that. The Grand Prix went over 100,000 miles. LS4, baby. Also, good news, with slight relations to the Grand Prix, I talked to Total Engine Airflow this morning, and my cylinder heads are going to ship back to me tomorrow. Woo! So I'm super stoked on that. They also boxed up all the original springs and retainers and valves and everything like that, so they'll send that back to me too. So I can maybe use them on this bad boy sometime when I swap that cam in and get rid of the DOD. Maybe do some headers on this thing, but we'll see. So fun stuff for the future as well. I'm pretty happy with these tools. Should be fun to use them. I'm going to scoot back home, maybe get a little something to eat, feed the birds, and yeah, we'll keep working on the car. Sweet. Yo, garage folks, back at home. There's the fuel filler neck there, but more importantly, boom, Bilsteins installed on the rear end. I got my dial gauge here all ready to go, indicator to measure my backlash and my paint. Got my other Bilsteins here. This is the rear mud flap and the fuel door that go in there that are ready to install. I cleaned them up in the sink. Got the front shocks here. Listening to some Pat McAfee with my Pepsi.
Allegedly getting $4 million to go to Miami.
But I just heard the UPS truck pull up, so let's go investigate. Ha 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 ha! Da, 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 da. Sweet! Don't need to be showing you guys my address, but you know. This is the fuel rail, the fast fuel rail, FAST, fuel air spark technology, that will fit my intake. Yeah. Boop. See, look. Fits perfect. I'm going to get a couple other things installed, but then I'm going to crack that open and make sure it's got what I want. And I will update my spreadsheet of parts on my computer. So, just wanted to include you guys on a little field trip there. I'll bust open it in a bit. And I'm going to take some measurements here on this here ring gear. And yeah, we'll tune back in. Hopefully it's on or very close. I would love that. We'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Making some good progress in the garage today on some technical stuff. So that's good. Here's my dial indicator, resting. I used it already. I marked 4 different spots around the ring gear there and checked the run out or the backlash on each. And it was 0.007 to 0.009 on each of them. Right in there, like very farthest wiggle room would be 0.6 to 0.010, 6 thousandths to 10 thousandths. So that is plenty good enough for me. My pattern, as you can see, is also good enough for me. That's on the coast side, right in the middle. Slightly, ever so slightly too tight, slightly towards the toe there, the toe of the gear, but it'll wear in a little bit after the first 400 or 500 miles, and I'll change the fluid, and I think we'll be just perfect. So I'll drive it ginger. I think we'll be excellent. And then you can see on the drive side, the pattern is right in the middle, not bottoming out on either end. So I'm gonna clean that off and put the axles in. I'm pretty happy with that, boys and girls. As you saw, the Bilsteins are in. Grab my light here. I have run my accessory fuel wiring. Whoop. So I got the relay on there. The chassis ground is right over there. And then it's tucked behind the brake lines and the fuel lines. Whoop. And she runs up through there, through there, through there. And then underneath the heat shield here. And it's just resting up here for now. Tossed over right there. Because I'm gonna wait until the motor's back on the subframe and I can kind of eyeball everything where the alternator is gonna be. I assume I'll run it kind of along this rail and then down here, and I'll put the ground for there's a battery ground replacement. I think it's just the same one that I was using, or it's the same length, so I think it just replaces the small wire with a big wire, and that'll be up over there once the battery's back in. So that went pretty well. I managed to tuck it nice and tight and it won't get in the way of anything, so happy with that. I got my diff cover here and my axles over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the axles in and get this thing ready to put back under the car, because then I can put in the suspension arms and then roll this thing back up under here and hook it all up. So that's very exciting. My axles are right there, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab those, clean this paint off here, and then this bolt has to come out, and the guard pin comes out, and then the axles will get slid in, and the clips, pop the axle through the middle and then stick the clips on and then push them back, and then the pin keeps the clips from falling off. So I'll set that up and show you guys when it's done. I think that's as far as I'm going to go with this. I'll put the cover on as well, but I'm going to leave the brakes off until we get it up here, just because it's easier to fuck with, and also then I can hook the brake lines back up in their little hooks here and then put the calipers and the rotors and everything back on. So very exciting there. Happy with that, how that went. Actually really happy. That stuff installed like very easily, and I mean, if it grenades in 1,000 miles, I guess we'll see, but I mean, how much is the learning experience worth, right? So yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I got my front shocks here. I'll probably start messing with after I get the axles in. But yeah, I'll come back at you guys when I get the axles in before I slap the cover on. So fun stuff. Yeah. All right, update on the Project Camaro's rear end / differential. Boom, got my axles in the axle housing, and you can kind of just see it in there, the retainer clip and the end of the axle. And then there's the center pin in there so they can't come out. And then there's the other one on that side. And here's this one over here. So yeah, pretty stoked with that. You have to take this main cap out of the way to be able to get at this little bolt, 8mm bolt here that has a pin that goes through a hole that's drilled in here to keep this pin in. So that's the safety pin. So I put some red Loctite on there and socked her down real good. Now I'll put this cap back on its studs, torque them down, and then put the cover on, tighten that up, and then I can do the little main stud supporters here as per the directions. I can't remember exactly what that is, but it's not a lot. Torque the mounting bolts to 25 foot-pounds, torque the load bolts to only 5 foot-pounds, and then the jam nuts to 20 foot-pounds. So these little guys in the middle only get 5 foot-pounds, and then the big nuts to hold it down get 20. So that's pretty simple. We'll get that on with these new bolts here, and yeah, we'll be happy. I think probably tomorrow I'll try to get it tucked up and under there. What else is new? Oh, I got my 17mm plug out of there. And that's all clean. So that's ready to go in the trunk and go to the shop. Oh, the cylinder heads are on their way as of this morning. I paid for them, which was great, but it's going to be exciting when they show up. So, and I got all my old equipment coming with me to save to go with the cam and stuff. So yeah, things are coming together pretty well here. This is going to go together. The cap's going to go on. And then, like I said, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to start by probably bolting the rear suspension arms back up, and maybe toss the panhard bar on here so I can help locate things. But we'll see how it wants to come together. I'm just going to do it the easiest way possible, hopefully with using this and setting the lift down and just making it nice and easy. So that's the plan. Yeah, so I'm gonna get this cover on here before the girlfriend gets home and get washed up and call it a night. But if I don't send you another update until tomorrow, you can rest easy knowing that the gas tank is in, the wiring is done, except for getting attached to the motor because the motor's still there. And the rear end is ready to reinstall. So we are moving ahead real nicely. I'm super happy with how this is all going. So yeah, may see you again later this evening, but if I don't, take it easy, folks.